My Airbnb host forged an entire conversation with me, then used that conversation to report me, and now I have a strike on my account.
That's pretty creative.
That's intense.
So imagine I'm scrolling, right, in the morning, checking emails. It's 8:04. I see something come in from Airbnb support. I'm like, huh? Immediately, I think it's spam or phishing. I'm not clicking nothing in the email. I go open up the app to see if it's legit. It is. I click this. It says, upon our investigation. I was like, investigation? What do you mean, NCIS? Chill. What
NCIS?
On what? And then I start reading more. It's like, your review went against policy, and it is against the rules to put like threatening or negative reviews like for your host or whatever. And I was like, wait, what?
I was gonna say, do you remember when Shamshir last week was like, yeah, what you do is you get him to say that they fucked up.
Yeah,
Like
that they will take money. Like, so you're saying that if I pay you for this, you'll put a good review.
She's like, this person's like, why bait them?
Yeah,
You just fucking make it up.
Make up the whole conversation.
Just text yourself.
But she couldn't make up the review. I'm interested to see what'll happen.
Yeah.
And then I'm reading further. It was like, if any more actions like this happen, your account can be like banned or restricted. And I was like, pause. Because none of this is making sense right now. Literally none of this is making sense. And I'm staring at the message, confused. And then it's like, do you wanna was the situation resolved, yes or no? I said no. I clicked that chat thing so quick. Apparently the chat was taking too long, so I just picked up the phone and I called Airbnb support, and I was like, hey, this weird thing happened. Like, I just got this really weird message saying how my review was like threatening, and therefore it was removed. And I know the review that I wrote, it was a 3-star review because it wasn't a great experience, but I was very respectful in the entire review, and nothing could have been taken negatively or threatening. And she's like, let me start looking into it. Let me check everything that happened with this. So she said, this was like an open and shut case. The hosts provided screenshots where you were requesting a refund, and because you didn't get it, you left that 3-star review. Immediately I was like, this is fraud. This is a fraud day. This is fake.
Damn, that'd be so hard to prove though. They're probably like, yeah, right, bitch.
Because never did I ever contact them requesting a refund.
All you need is like any other cell phone number.
I can show you the WhatsApp conversation.
Or I'm sure there's apps that can make fake texts too.
There's
it's true. You don't even need it.
There's no record of me requesting a refund. I was like, they literally photoshopped it, or they created a fake chat and pasted my number on it. I was like, none of this ever happened. I'm like, you can check how we corresponded in the Airbnb app, and I can send you screenshots of the WhatsApp chat. And she was like, yes, please go ahead, do that. And she's like, while you're doing that, take those same screenshots and send it to the host and say like, hey, I don't know what you shared with Airbnb.
Damn, Airbnb's setting the host up.
We have, so please share your records of our conversation. Tell me why immediately two out of the 4 hosts that manage that listing read it, and none of them responded. So now I'm just waiting for Airbnb's appeal, because they are some lying, scamming people. They literally did all of this just to remove my 3-star truthful review. Like, all of this happened in Turkey, and honestly, this is like probably the 3rd time someone is like attempting to scam me. Airbnb says keep all communications in the app. They mean keep all communications in the app.
I like how she scolds the camera.
Yeah.
Keep all communication. I want to see if there's a follow-up.
Yeah, did they
Like, what
determine it
happened?
was fraud or not?
Girl?
All these cliffhangers. They never finish their stories.
Well, still, I'm sorry that happened to her, but that is an interesting scam.
Yeah, I'm surprised people don't do that more often.
Yeah, and then you're like, they deleted it.
Yeah, exactly. How can you ever prove that you didn't have that conversation? They could be like, well, she clearly deleted the messages.
Yeah, exactly. What do you mean?
Huh.
That is wild.
Dang, I really want to know what happened.
So remember my insane Airbnb host that photoshopped
we're
the
back.
entire conversation
All right.
between him and I, and then used it to report me? Yeah, we have a resolution.
Hey-o.
Long story short, Airbnb was on my side, and I essentially won the case.
Yes.
So basically, this is the message that they sent. They were like following up from what we spoke on the phone regarding your removed review. We assessed it and decided that your review does comply, and we're going
After
to
assessing
put
it further, we
back
decided
up.
your review does
Now,
comply
where's
with the
the
standards
review?
after
Because
all.
it's not there. It's not there. I went and I
They didn't
checked,
like
because one thing I
address
was going
like
to do was share the review
Yeah,
with
that
y'all
he
to show
faked
you
it.
how I was respectful and why I gave it 3 stars, but it's not there. So if I don't see it by tomorrow, I'm opening up another case.
Airbnb was playing both sides. They like told her they weren't gonna remove it, and they
Yeah.
told him they would because they didn't want to accuse
Yeah,
anybody of lying.
exactly. We don't know who's lying. So
Yeah.
you know, like at least Airbnb, they'll like give the like I've seen them where they'll like give the refund and they'll not fuck you, like they'll not
Yeah.
charge you. I had a Rover host,
What's
a Rover
that?
walker. It's like it's like
that
Uber
walks
for
your dog?
Yeah, dog walkers. We had one. She was great. She's an aspiring actress. I guess got a gig or something. Just like on to bigger, better things, walking old ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been setting up like test runs or whatever, like test walks with all these different dog walkers all week. And then I set so many up that like I had like a different one every day. One chick like never showed up, and then but she like, you know, she had a scheduled appointment, doesn't show up. We reschedule. Eventually she's like, hey, and like it's kind of a little nasty about it. You know, I'll just get a refund. We don't have to keep rescheduling.
Yeah.
And then they were like, oh, we've already paid. Sorry, what can we do? As if like,
What?
okay, well then you take a
Rover
fucking loss.
said that?
Yeah. They're like, we'll refund you our $2 like Rover fee.
Thanks.
But we've already paid her, so there's nothing we can do. I'm like, what do you mean? Airbnb?
Yeah, they would eat the loss.
Yeah, not Rover. So at least, you know, we bitch a lot about Airbnb.
Yeah, they're not all bad.
Let's see what happens though.
But they could have just told her, we're not going to put your review back, but there's no strike
Yeah,
against
I
you.
think that, well, I guess we'll see what she says, but
But honestly, I don't think this is justice, and I don't think this is good enough, because for me personally, I was going to bury you into the ground. That host should not be allowed to host anymore. They should not be allowed to post anything on that platform, nor should that listing be allowed to be posted anywhere on that platform.
Yeah, they
She-
ban people for less.
you gave it a 3-star review. Like
Yeah.
you didn't give it 2 or 1.
One, yeah.
Right? Like how
they really
bad
went
was
out of
it?
their way for a 3-star review.
But like, all right, yeah, that's also like a little extra. But she's like, in terms of the listing itself, don't be like, oh, it shouldn't even be on the platform. You gave it 3 stars. You know?
Yeah.
You said it was okay.
But she's saying it shouldn't be on the platform because they're scammers and they're
Yeah,
like
that's true.
scamming people.
But at least, you know, accurate.
They probably have a shit ton of bad reviews and like have gotten them all removed in the same way.
Have you ever like gone to a restaurant that had super solid reviews and at the end, like the waitress is like, here, and like 5-star me?
Yeah.
And you're like, that's fucking why.
Yeah, that's
'Cause
why they're so
they harass. They're good at harassing you.
Yeah, do it right now as I watch over your shoulder.
Yeah, fine.
I do that to people though. They come into the
You have
office.
to.
I'm like, leave me a
You have
5-star
to.
review. I'll wait.
But also, first of all, I'm still mad too that Airbnb did an open and shut case, and they didn't even like consult me while this apparent case was going on, while they were submitting these fraudulent
Well, they thought it was
Photoshop
obvious based on the
conversations.
text.
Not once did they come to me and say this investigation or case was happening. They just told me when it was resolved.
That's how they
at
do
the end,
hosts
which is
normally. It's
why I
just
was
crazy.
so
Yeah.
confused.
Sometimes
I'm
they
like,
fuck
why
over
are you
guests.
not giving your guests a proper space to plead their case?
All right.
Oh, glad we found that part too.
I'm surprised this is the first time we've heard a story like this.
Yeah, and like now I'm gonna start doing that.